So right from the get-go, our approach to the clay is going to be a little bit different than if we're throwing cylindrical forms. In that when I throw a cylindrical form that is perhaps narrow and tall, I am going to center the lump of clay a little bit higher with a narrow bottom. Now when I'm throwing a bowl, I'll do the opposite. I'll throw it just a smidge wider at the base. I'm going to open this clay up just the same way we did with the cylinder, with the left hand thumb dropping right down the middle, right hand finger following it, creating a nice well here, V-shaped. I'm going to leave about a good ½ inch at the bottom here at least, so that we can carve a nice foot in the bottom of this bowl. Now here's where everything changes. So when we were going to throw a cylinder, I would have done the hand over hand pull and flattened out at the bottom and created a right angle where the wall meets the floor. Well, bowls don't have that. Bowls have a very beautiful continuous curve all the way to the bottom. If we were to put a floor in there, that would make it look pretty dumpy. So rather than doing that hand over hand pull, we're going to compress the clay now and keep this nice V-shaped curve here at the bottom of our clay. Let's take a rib, and at 3 o'clock you're just going to compress the clay and really refine and define that bottom of your bowl here. So rather than doing a standard pull where we're going to get the sponge down here and pull like we were at a cylinder, this is a really quick and easy way to just throw a bowl in about 2 pulls. Your hands are going to be in a butterfly hand position like you were when you were centering. Your left hand in the inside, just following that nice curve, and then your right hand is going to grab clay at the bottom here. It's going to press the very bottom of the bat into the clay and start to bring the clay up into your left hand, working all the way to the rim. So press in, start moving up, all the way to the top, relax, compress the rim. So you'll see here that I maintained this curve in here, but I still have a bit of clay down here. We'll get that on the next pull. The other thing that I'd like you to notice is that when I was pulling, my hands weren't out like this. Rather, they're pretty vertical. When you're doing your first pulls on a bowl, you'll want them to be more vertical than horizontal. The reason why that is that you're working against gravity, which pulls things down, and centripetal force that pulls things out. So if you think about it, if you're going to pull more sideways, your bowl's probably going to flop over sooner than you want it to. So if you pull vertical, you're going to get a lot more height out of it before you start shaping into the bowl that you want. I'm going to do one more pull. Get clay wet on both sides here. My left hand following that nice curve on the inside. Got this butterfly hand position. I'm going to grab clay at the very bottom here and start to massage it up into the walls. All the way to the top. Relax. Clean off the rim. So at this point, I've got quite a bit of clay down here, and the walls are even, but a little too thick for my taste. If you're throwing something that's going to be used quite a bit and you don't want it to be that breakable, this might be a good stage for you to get your rib in here and refine the shape. For me, I'm going to go with something a little bit more delicate, and I'm going to do one more pull, and that's just to thin out the walls even more. So I'm going to get it wet, and this pull, what I'll do is similar looking to when we were pulling the cylinders. It's working at about 3 or 4 o'clock. I'm going to grab some clay at the bottom here. And then all you're doing is a very gentle upward thinning pull. I'm going to stop a little shy of the rim, just to leave a bit of clay at the top here. The reason why I leave a bit of clay at the top here is that your bowls are usually stacked on top of each other, and when they're drying or when they're stored in the cupboard, they get used quite a bit. And if they have a very thin, delicate rim, they'll get chipped pretty quickly. So if you leave just a little bit of clay at the top here and compress that rim, you're less likely to develop chips later when they're being used. So I still have this nice curve at the bottom here, but my walls are a little too vertical. This looks kind of like maybe a little flower pot. So this is where we get our rib involved. The hand position for this is at about 5 or 6 o'clock. You're going to brace your left hand just to go up against the outside of the pot here, and your right hand is going to hold the rib, and starting from the top, drop it into the pot and work your way all the way to the bottom, creating a continuous, uninterrupted curve. You can use any rib you'd like, and you'll find that with one rib you can create about a zillion different curves, just about how you hold the particular rib. This one I like just because you can get, just about a bazillion different kinds of shapes and sizes and everything out of it. Now you're working this all the way to the bottom. I'm not pressing very hard. I'm just defining that curve. So I've got a very nice, clean line. At this point, make sure that you get all the water at the bottom here out. And I'm going to go over this one more time, just to make sure that I've got a nice, clean curve. A lot of people will spend time throwing bowls looking at the outside, later to find that they have an outside that they have to trim and an inside that just looks like crap because it's not a continuous line. If you focus at this stage on just creating a beautiful inside curve, the outside will follow. And if for some reason it doesn't, you have the opportunity to trim the bowl to be exactly the way you want once it's leather hard. So really focus on getting that nice curve on the inside, and the rest should follow. Now at this point I'll clean up any of the slurry or slop on the outside, maybe refine this curve, get rid of any throwing lines. I'm not really pressing at all. Just getting rid of the boogers here. And the rest will be taken care of once we trim. I'll clean off the top of this rim, again with a leather chamois. Just drape it over. Some people have used newspaper in a pinch. Apparently the real stuff works better than the fake stuff. I don't mind using the fake stuff. Down here we still have quite a bit of clay, but that's good. We need that clay to support the bowl when we're throwing, and also we need this clay to actually put a foot in the bowl later on. If we don't leave any clay down here, we're not going to have anything to trim a foot. Just like the cylinder, I'm going to clean off that outside part, create a nice bevel for the wire tool to go through, and at this point I'll simply wire off the pot.